Excuse the pimpin's tardiness. You did. I appreciate y'all wiping your feet off at the door. I'll be right back.
She heard of me popping, now her religion is hope. I'm fishing for dope, deep in the abyss of a tricks, while they only running the player for pimp calling. Yeah, quarterback from blasting, artistically pop audibles out of a window. How we send poses of audible, exotic toes, touch it down, trappy, just so we're happy to touch it now. I say I go to sleep in the gym, wake up to the Benjamins, all cause I'm beginning with some dissonance, limitless, primitive minded niggas and bitches couldn't relate, man. I pimp for mine and it feel great. Put yourself around, get blessed with the spirit. Put yourself around, I mean possessed by the spirit of put yourself around the block. If you know that nobody but the PM, damn, nobody shit, nobody except around the hell they in the dock. A new hoe in the house, a new trick to the table so I can pop a new cop. A new day in the dock, a new hoe in the house, a new trick to the table so I can pop a new cop. Tell them, after all of the ism, no longer living through the maggot ass bitches. Maggot ass home robbery. Into all of the pimping that took their sentence like a man with that punk bitch preaching with the air. I know we make it look easy, but it ain't never been. Knocking that up, cause mine just another letter sin. She's sick of being the blues of pimping the medicine. When she weak, I speak, give her power like medicine.
We don't protect bitches. From the pimpin', we settle down and let them sweat bitches. Everybody ain't gonna let you sweat the bitch, man. But the pimpin' will, though. You did. My pimpin' ass going nutty over a bitch. You did. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause if you know that nobody love a pimp. Nobody except another pimp. A new hoe, a new hop, a new trick to the tailor, a pop new collar. Trick to the tailor so I can pop a new collar.
This ain't something you can just wake up and decide to do. Supernatural activities working inside of me.
The pimpin' is the master of himself. Tragic to his health. Pop it and we make quotes. Study the movement. Try to internalize the pimpish way that we do shit. Remind niggas of Billy D and Willie D. Can't be first, this ain't rehearsed, this is really me.
The greatest thing that ever happened to from hope. The reason why she all gas mashing for the dough. Motivated to be great and get the bands up so every real host salute with your loot and stand up.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Hold up. Freddie P, as always, good looking with the $5 holler. Yeah, man, we gonna pop this shit today, man. First and foremost, y'all know how a pimp get down. I gotta put some of this love shit in my body. Please put some love in your body, man. This is what we do when we love ourselves. My young partner, Alexander the Great, coming through with the big Benjamin. You dig? The $100 holler. Good looking, young pimpin'. I appreciate you. Now, see, I'm gonna just show y'all something, man. You know, like I tell y'all all the time, man. One thing about this pimping, we stay fly. We just fly by nature, you know. And when you fly by nature, you just can't. You can't subject yourself to certain things. You can't. You just can't have no parts of certain things, right? And I'm gonna show y'all. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, wait. Hold on. See, this is my room. This is the where I'm staying at right now. You know what I mean? Let y'all get a good look. You know, Pimp Domain gonna be cool. You dig? Y'all see my little my little prop setup, you know what I mean? To set my camera up, you dig? But this is how a Pimp Domain gonna be, man. Clean. Because I'm fly. I don't just, you know, dress fly. You know, I got the nature, that type of shit, right? You know, they know somebody coming over and they'll hurry up and throw everything in the closet or throw everything in the drawers. Nah, even the drawers is, I don't think I got none in these drawers. But the drawers, wait, okay, I got a shirt in there. You know what I mean? Got a few things in there. But you see how everything is nice and neat. You know what I mean? You know, closet cool. Got everything hung up. Got my luggage and shit down there. You know what I mean? Hold on, let's look at the bathroom. You dig? Oh, shit is cool. You know? And the tub ain't got no motherfucking ring around it or no shit like that. You know what I mean? Shit is nice and neat. You know, but that's how a Pimp Domain gonna be, man, when you come through to a pimp joint, man. It's gonna be pimpish. Now, see, you got certain individuals. Hold on. Let me show y'all what a pimp looking like today, man. You got certain individuals that are dressed like this, right? You know? They'll get dressed like this. But if you get inside their car, they got all kind of you get inside their car and they got all kind of uh tobacco from emptying out blunts and shit all over their floor and in their seats and shit. They got soda cans. I will go down to the ride to show y'all, but just to show y'all that a pimp's ride is just as clean. You know, motherfucker just stay fly at all times. That's just standard customary pimp shit. Excuse my pimping. But like I say, you got motherfuckers that they'll get dressed and groom themselves and be cool, but they really just got the nature of a sloppy motherfucker, and they don't even really feel like getting dressed and grooming themselves, but they just think that they got to do that. So that's the only reason why they doing it, is because they feel like they have to, you know, to be presentable. It's not because they want to and they like being that way. You know, some motherfuckers, they get dressed and everything, but they don't really like to do that shit. They just do it because they think it's like necessary. It's like working a job. You know, you put the uniform on at your job not because you want to, but because you have to, because it's just part of maintaining that job, is working in that uniform. You know, but then you have other people that just put their shit on because that's what they love to do. You know, and me, I just love getting fly. So that's why you see me doing this. You don't see me doing this because like, oh man, these bitches like motherfuckers with suits on, man. Shit. I gotta put a motherfucking suit on, man. These bitches, they like motherfuckers to shave and shit, man. Cut their hair and all that, man. I gotta do all this so extra ass shit just to get a bitch's attention, man. Fuck. I don't feel like doing this shit. Nah, man. A pimp, a real pimp, likes to be well groomed and neat, well put together, well kept. You know, it's just standard customary pimp shit. And I see there's 144 of y'all in here. Thank you. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. But if you have not wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please go back to the door and do that shit right now. What I mean by that is hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, That's you wiping your feet off at the door when you come into a pimp's domain. So please go back and do that for me. And for those of y'all that do, and those of y'all that already have, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. So yeah. Um, James Hudson, bro. Shout out to my LBC partner. Freeze. Can you pimp with no teeth in your mouth, player? Okay, see, this is the thing, right? Um, Shit happens, especially in the life of a pimp. We go through some crazy things at times, right? Largely in part due to the fact that the world is against us. The world, as a rule of thumb, doesn't like us. They don't like what we stand for. They don't like what we do. They don't like our belief system, anything, right? So because of that, a pimp gonna go through a whole lot of shit. And you know, a pimp might do something like lose his teeth. He might go through some shit and lose his teeth, right? But somebody that's really the pimping, they might even go an extended period of time. They might go weeks and months, maybe even a year or whatever, because that's some traumatic shit to lose your teeth, especially like really just one or two. But if you lose a whole lot of teeth, that's some traumatic shit. So I can see a motherfucker, being down in the dumps or being depressed or whatever the case may be, right? But the thing about it is, a pimp is not going to remain that way because, one thing a pimp is, he's serious about his campaign, right? So he wants to do everything that makes he wants to make himself make the most sense for a bitch to fuck with at all times, right? He's gonna do everything in his power to make it make sense for a young lady to want to get with him, right? So a big part of that is having a presentable smile. Cadillac J Just, I appreciate you with the $5 holla. So to thank somebody back here. James Turner. Okay, my bad. I was connected to the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi where I am be tripping sometimes, so I just disconnected the Wi-Fi. But but yeah, like I say, a pimp is gonna do everything in his power to make his campaign the best that it can possibly be, and a part of that is having your teeth right. Having a decent smile. So, like I say, a pimp might go through some shit where he loses his teeth. I ain't never lost a lot of teeth, but I have had a situation where I broke a tooth one time. One of my front teeth got broken in half, but I immediately got it fixed. And you know, one thing about a pimp too, he's responsible, right? And when you're a responsible man and you give a damn about how you present yourself, then the combination of those things is going to make it where the first opportunity that you get, you're going to get your teeth fixed. And like I said, that's a traumatic thing to lose your teeth, right? So some people might go into a depression if they lose their teeth. A pimp might go into a depression if he loses his teeth, right? And anybody who's been depressed, when you're depressed, you don't always make the most sound decisions. You don't always move in wisdom, right? So and then you within making these unwise decisions, sometimes you make these unwise decisions just to make yourself feel good about yourself because you already feel bad about the fact that you ain't got your teeth right, or whatever traumatic situation you went through that like altered your appearance. You want to do things to make yourself feel good, and that's understandable, right? So you might have a situation where a motherfucker done lost their teeth and they get some money and they can make a choice between getting their teeth fixed or treating themselves to some clothes or some jewelry or what have you, and they might choose the latter. They might treat themselves to whatever, and over getting their teeth fixed. You know, so it could be a number of reasons why somebody might go through that. But like I say, somebody who really cares about their appearance and somebody who's seriously the pimping, you're gonna get your teeth fixed the first opportunity that you get, and you're not gonna let years go by and opportunity after opportunity go by to get your teeth fixed and you just refuse to get them fixed. Pimp ain't gonna do that. Pimp is not gonna do that. So, to answer your question, a pimp can be a pimp without his teeth, but a pimp is not going to let opportunity after opportunity pass and not get his teeth fixed, and let years pass and not get his teeth fixed. See, me, of course, it's always easier to be on the outside looking in and say what you would and wouldn't do in a situation. But me, if I got to sell my house, my car, whatever the fuck, to get my teeth right, that's the most important thing to me. I would rather be homeless with my teeth than, like, if I had to choose. If somebody told me, like, yeah, Freeze, we'll give you this place to stay, or you can get your teeth back because you ain't got none of your teeth, I'm gonna choose the teeth. Freeze, we'll give you this brand new car, paid for. You could choose that or you could choose your teeth. I'm choosing the teeth. I need my teeth because the teeth are going to enable me to get all of those things and then some. you know uh I may be a confident motherfucker, just me speaking for myself. I know I'm not a bad looking guy. I'm in fairly good shape. I dress nice. I look cool. So I might be confident in those areas, but just being realistic, I'm sure that's going to have an effect on my confidence, me not having my teeth. So, when your confidence ain't up to par, everything else is going to suffer as a result. So, I know if I got my teeth, I'm gonna be fully confident, and me being fully confident in doing what I do and being who I am, yeah, I'm gonna get everything else that I want to have. So, yeah, you could be a pimp, but a pimp ain't gonna remain that way. But you know, uh, see, the thing about the pimping, right? Like I say all the time, the pimping is not just something that you could just wake up one day and be like, you know what, I'm gonna be a pimp. It don't work like that. It does not work like that. You know, the pimping is just blessed with certain things. Like I say, one of the best ways to identify some pimping is by his nature and his ability to do what average people can't do. The pimping just has things about himself that not everybody has. You know, uh, just simple shit like being okay with the fact that the other men are sleeping with your woman, right? The pimping is like sincerely okay with that. The pimping sincerely accepts the fact that somebody is sleeping with his woman, and she's getting paid for it. Pimping ain't got no problem with that. That's not gonna make a pimp sick to his stomach. The fact that the bitch is laid up with some other man. Pimping ain't. We got a totally different outlook and understanding on things. So that's not gonna phase us one way or the other. Now, one thing that really separates true pimping from a motherfucker that just got certain qualities that make them seem like the pimping is letting another pimp sweat his bitch and getting knocked for that bitch. Of course, don't none of us like getting knocked. That's not something that we take joy in, getting knocked in the game, right? Or it may it may be certain situations, you know what I mean? Because certain motherfuckers, they might take a crazy lunatic bitch off your hands, and it's like you don't want this bitch, but you need this bitch, so you ain't gonna fire the bitch. you know. But if somebody knocked the bitch off, you know, even though you might take a step back financially, you feel good because it's a burden lifted off your shoulders, and you know you could pimp a whole lot better without this bitch in your mix, you know, because she just drains your energy. You know, you don't like her. She probably don't like you, uh, but she don't want to leave you alone, or she probably don't really like herself. That's probably the ultimate issue. Uh, you know, but in most cases, pimps don't like getting knocked for hoes. That's not something that most pimps like. So, but again, just like we accept the fact that another man is sleeping with our woman for some money, we accept the game and everything that comes with it. Just like I said before, you know, when you accept a hoe, you accept her and all the whatever problems she might come with. Same thing with the game, with the pimping. When you truly sign up to pimp, when you truly pledge allegiance to this game, when you swear under oath that you gonna pimp, you dig, you accept the good with the bad and the ugly. You take the bitter with the sweet. And you understand that getting knocked is just a part of the game. So it's nothing to get bent out of shape about. It's nothing to cause friction with some pimping about. But you have a lot of cats to do that. You know, it's funny, right? Just give you an idea of you know, the shit that the pimping go through. And, you know, motherfuckers like myself just, it's just in me to be the bigger man, right? But I got a partner that I love dearly, right? Um, Over the years, it's been several hoes of mine that I don't have anymore. And it's like they might get back on my line and they'd be like, yeah, such and such was trying to get at me. And I just thought it was weird because I know y'all so tight. So I couldn't fuck with them. I thought about it, you know, because I was mad at you. You know, they might say different shit like that. I was mad at you, but I just couldn't do it because, you know, even though I was mad at you, I just felt like that would be betraying you. So I couldn't do it. And this is because, you know, I teach bitches that like betrayal is the worst thing that you could do to a pimp. And I don't, like me myself, I don't think that a hoe choosing one of my partners is a betrayal type thing. But this is what I've had a couple of bitches say about this same one particular guy, right? But it's more than just them. It's been a few bitches that I've had that have all told me over the years about my partner that I, like I say, I love dearly, has tried to get at them. You know, it's not a situation where they trying to get with him or anything like that. This is a situation where he's trying to get with them, right? And it's just a trip because, like I said, this is somebody that I love, so I know this pimp, right? And I don't have a problem with him trying to have hoes that I've had before. But what kills me is this same individual. He's the type of guy that would not be able to stomach it if I was to have one of his ex-hoes. And it's funny because, like I say, this is just the life of a pimp, man. You know, it's a particular ex-hoe of his that he had for an extended period of time. And this bitch, this is after they wasn't together no more, just like in the situations with me. That's what I don't want y'all to misunderstand. These hoes of mine that he was trying to get at, this is after they wasn't with me no more. Each one of them. It's like, I want to say it's like 4 of them, right? It's either 3 or 4. One I'm like questionable, I can't remember, but for sure 3 of them, right? These were all situations where after the bitch wasn't with me no more, he went behind me and tried to have a bitch. And, you know, I'm not mad at that. I have no problem with that. I'm cool with that, right? But what trips me out is because I know this guy and I know his experiences and I know how he's been in them types of situations before with people that he was tight with. And he'll fall out with a motherfucker and won't be cool. He'll try to act pimping about it, but deep down inside, he's mad at that individual. He's mad at that pimp for having his hoe, you know. And like I said, there's a situation with this same gentleman who one of his ex-hoes, after she wasn't with him no more, she was going out of her way to try to get me to sweat her. She was going out of her way trying to get my attention so I could get at her. And this is a bitch who is known for getting money, right? This bitch is known for paying the shit out of pimping. But out of love for my partner, and because I know what type of guy he is, I know that if I was to knock this bitch or if I was to accept her, he gonna try to act pimping about it with me, but deep down inside, he's gonna be upset about it, and he's gonna treat me differently. He gonna have a whole totally different disposition when it comes to me, right? And I know that because I know him. So out of love and respect for him, I didn't go there with that bitch, and plus, just speaking about this bitch in particular, yeah, she get a lot of money, but it's certain. I know the bitch, I know the bitch, and there's certain characteristics about her that just don't. It don't sit well with my pimping, and I know we ain't gonna get far. I might get a few little dollars from the bitch, and but it ain't gonna get far because she gonna say or do something disrespectful, and I just ain't gonna. I ain't gonna have it. So, and that's the thing about the pimping too. We don't just accept bitches. Like we don't see the pimping and compromise ain't got nothing to do with each other, right? And you got a lot of motherfuckers that compromise themselves just for the sake of some money. Now a pimp might sometimes do what he got to do, but at the same time, the pimping got standards, the pimping got integrity, the pimping got dignity, and we don't compromise them things just for the sake of some money. And you got a lot of motherfuckers who do that. You got a lot of motherfuckers that compromise themselves just for the sake of getting some money from a bitch. And it's crazy. Like I said, with that particular bitch, that was the main reason why I would never take that bitch, because I know how he would feel about it. Same partner of mine who, like I said, he done tried to get at least 3, maybe 4 of my ex-hoes. But I know that he would have a problem and I would never try to get at none of his ex-hoes, but if one of them tried to get at me and I was to take that bitch, I know that he would have a big problem with that. And this motherfucker who I'm talking about, really some pimping though. But it's just certain flaws and shortcomings that motherfuckers have in this game. You dig? See, I do my best to keep in mind that not everybody is gonna think like me, and therefore not everybody is gonna move like me, right? And who's to say that my way of moving and thinking is ideal, that it's the best, to each their own. But I'm just speaking for my pimping. First of all, I'm not gonna go out of my way to have a bitch that my partner done. It's different from a bitch that just like come through for a short time, and he might give your partner, or the bitch might give your partner some money, and she don't stay that long, and then she blow up, and she was probably a cool bitch, and then she come get on your line, not you getting at her. Like, I might do something like that, but as far as like a bitch who my partner that really pimped on this bitch and had this bitch for a long time, and they got all kind of experiences together. They just tied in with each other. They know each other's family, and they might have kids together, and just they just real tied in with each other. Like me, I'm not gonna try to have no bitch like that with somebody who I really fuck with. I done ate at his house, he done ate at my house. His hoes is cool with my hoes and shit like that. Like we kind of like real, we got a real friendship in this pimping. I'm not gonna try to have no bitch like that, especially a bitch that I know. Like I know this bitch, and I know how they were together, even though they not together no more. I know this bitch and I know him. Like I don't want this bitch. She might be a money getting bitch and all that, but that's just me. Uh, Now, other motherfuckers got a different outlook on that, and I don't knock them for that. But I'm just speaking for my own pimping, you know. And I'm not saying that for somebody to be the opposite of that means that they not the pimping, but I'm just speaking for my own pimping, you know. And like I say all the time, I'm a man of integrity, and uh, you know, I just do my best to be integral about everything that I do with this game. It's 200 of y'all in here. 161 of y'all wiped your feet off at the door. If you have not wiped your feet off at the door, please do so for a pimp, and thank you. Uh, I imagine y'all are commenting, but for some reason, uh, the last comment I see is from 18 minutes ago. So I don't know what's going on, but I can't see the most recent comments, and I do not like that. Okay. Okay, I done refreshed it so I can see the most recent comments now. Uh, Hold on. Look like somebody. Excuse my pimping. Oh, Blue Hunted. Good looking with the $20 holler. Blessings. Blessings to you as well. I appreciate you. And I appreciate y'all for wiping your feet off at the door too. You dig? But yeah, man, you know, as far as, you know, how people view friendship in the game, and you know, some people think that it ain't no friendship in the pimping. You know, the friendship end when the pimping begin and all of that. Like, uh, to be honest with you, I do think that's true in most cases. But I got some people in the game that I truly consider to be friends. You know, and obviously, one who I consider to be a brother of mine. That's Sinful to P. You know, that's my brother for real. You know, and our our brotherhood has been tried and tested, and you know, in every way that you could think of, and it's stood the test of time and every other test. So you know, that's undeniably, undoubtedly my brother. Like the sacrifices that we done made for one another. You know, I don't really know too many other situations in the game like that. And yeah, you know, that's my bro. But you know, aside from him, I got some cats that I consider to be real friends in the game, right? But you know, some cats believe that the friendship end when the pimp begin. You know, in a lot of cases that is true. You know, but one thing about this pimping, right? Again, this is me speaking for myself and the real true pimps that I know. You know, pimping and desperation ain't got nothing to do with each other. Nothing to do with each other. Pimps are not desperate. We don't know how to be desperate. You know, but you got a lot of cats that do desperate shit. And see, it's fucked up because the times that we live in now, right? And this transcends beyond just the pimping, right? But it's fucked up that the times that we live in, everything is acceptable. The only thing that's not acceptable is contesting what's acceptable. Because then everybody gonna say that you a hater, right? Like, you know, like for instance, right? You know, it's just the times that we live in, and I haven't seen this, but it wouldn't surprise me if I see it, right? But you know, the pimping, we don't make deals with hoes. We don't percentage pimp. Ain't no such thing as percentage pimping. So it ain't no such thing as a bitch choosing me, but I'm taking 50% of the trap and I'm letting her keep 50% of the trap, right? That's not the game. But the times that we live in, it could be a motherfucker that's doing that and he could have some real success at it, right? Like, or at least he's making it look like that. We don't even know where the success is really coming from. He might be a dope dealer, or he might have businesses or own property or whatever the case may be, right? But he hollering pimping. But it might come to be found out that all of his bitches, he might have 10 bitches, but all of them only give him 50%, you know? Now, if a real pimp stand up and contest that, like, hey, man, that's not the game, man. You know, pimping, we don't make deals with hoes. That motherfucker is going to be considered a hater. He's really speaking the truth, and he's standing up for the game because the shit that he represents is something totally different, and he don't want people mistaking that for what he stands for. So he has every right to stand up and say, hey, man, this ain't the game. But the times that we are in right now, everything is acceptable except for contesting what's acceptable. You know, then you a hater. So that motherfucker gonna be considered a hater. Shit. Excuse me. Christ consciousness, good looking with the $5 holler. Do you think face tats a bad move for a P? Again, the pimping is gonna do everything within his power to make it make sense for hoes to fuck with him, and you know, he's gonna do everything in favor of succeeding, and he's not gonna do anything to make it harder for himself, because just naturally the pimping already got it hard, you know, being that, like I said, the world is against us. So we're not gonna do anything to make it harder for ourselves, right? And see, this is one thing, you know, I ain't never been in the gang culture. A lot of people think that because I'm from LA County, I'm from Long Beach, that, you know, I had to have been a gangbanger, I had to be affiliated with some, but I ain't never been affiliated with no gangs, right? But naturally, being from LA County, you know, I do have, you know, some certain influences because that's been all around me my whole life growing up. So, you know, like I said, I was influenced by things when I was young, and even though I wasn't gang affiliated, I still was a street nigga. I was in the streets hustling and doing my thing, right? And one thing I never understood is, because gangbangers, most of the time when you really gangbanging, you a criminal. When you really a gangbanger, you're a criminal. Like, crime and gangbanging are synonymous. You know, they go hand in hand, right? And one thing I never understood is why a gangbanger would want to get a whole bunch of tattoos. And especially tattoos of his gang on him, right? Getting his set tatted on him. That's a big thing in the gang culture. But like, again, like I said, to me, it never made sense. I don't have any tattoos. And a big part of the reason why I don't have any tattoos is because I was in the streets doing my thing. And I didn't want to make myself any more easily identifiable than I already am. And tattoos make you easily identifiable, you know? And the police make a record of your tattoos, you know? If you got a letter on your neck, or you know, a design on your arm, or somebody's face on your chest, or whatever, like, the police make records of all that shit. So they record what tattoos you have and all of that shit, and it stays there for shit pretty much forever. So let's say you do a robbery, right? And you might have had something covering your face or whatever the case may be, but you got a letter on your hand, right? You got a W, or you got West Side or something on your hand, and your face was covered up, but you got this W on your hand, right? All the police got to do is like, oh, he had a W on his hand, he's an African American male, dark skin or whatever, right? They just go through their system, and they find all the motherfuckers that got the same kind of tattoo or something similar on their hand, you know? So you might have thought you got away with the shit. But what got you caught was that motherfucking tattoo. You know? So like for instance, it's funny speaking of this, the movie, I want to say it's called Takers. The movie with Idris Elba, T.I., Chris Brown, you know, they had did some shit. And the way that them niggas got caught was because Chris Brown, and they had ski masks on, they had all kind of shit, right? But if y'all, any of y'all remember that movie, the way that they got caught was because Chris Brown had a tattoo on his neck, and everything went downhill from there. If they didn't see that motherfucking tattoo on his neck, or if he didn't have that tattoo on his neck, they wouldn't have got caught. Shit like that happens in real life. So I say all of that to say, you know, we live in a certain time now where certain shit is popular. And, you know, young bitches, certain young bitches, they like that shit. Especially if you from California, or especially California, but even other places, like if you're a part of a certain culture, like the gang culture, you know, bitches like that shit. They like motherfuckers with tattoos on their face. But um at the same time, you kind of you make it harder for yourself doing that, because like I said, somebody might commit a crime or something, and they might have a similar tattoo on their face like you, and the police might be out moving around and they see you with that tattoo on your face, and they looking for a motherfucker that got a tattoo similar to that or that same tattoo. You know what I mean? And you might get swept up in some bullshit. Just like police, they mistakenly identify motherfuckers all the time. And you got niggas really sitting on the yard, motherfuckers really not coming home because they were mistaken as somebody else. So in tattoos, it just, especially on your face, you know, something that is like, you know, not easy to cover up and hide. You know, if you got something on your arms or your back or your chest or something, people ain't gonna see that all the time, because not 9 times out of 10 you cover that up. But yeah, I say all that to say, me, I don't think it's the wisest thing to get face tattoos, but that doesn't make you any less or more of a pimp. I just think it's not wise, you know, speaking from the criminal sense, and really just the black man sense, because when you're a black man, you know, they already automatically got the preconceived notion that you're a criminal anyway, even if you ain't never jaywalked in your life or committed a crime in your life. You know, by you being a black man, you know, they think you guilty by the skin that you in. So uh me, I don't think it's wise for a black man to have face tattoos, especially the pimping. But Bill, good looking with the $2 holler. Information is uncommon, solves all problems. I appreciate you, bro. Jeremy Craney, good looking with the $20 holler. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to you as well, bro. Coco say I'm a skincare therapist or specialist, and I would never. I hear the regret stories all the time. To each his own. Yeah, you know, to each their own. You know, like I said, with the gang culture, to me, it never made sense because you're a criminal. But then again, you know, with certain gangs, that's a part of their culture, going to the penitentiary and, you know, setting up shop and doing certain things within the penitentiary. That's a part of their culture. So for them, even though I don't understand all of that, but you know, if that's what it is, I can understand that. But if you're a criminal who don't want to go to jail, and you're a criminal that's doing your best to stay out of jail, you know, the one thing that you would want to do is not make yourself too easily identifiable. You dig? And then not just that, but you know, uh, another thing about them tattoos, which that kind of come with the territory, but you know, not only might the police mistakenly identify you, but niggas in the streets might mistakenly identify you as somebody that they looking for, that they want to have their head. you know, you might look like the motherfucker that shot their mama's house up, or killed their cousin, or whatever the case may be. And I think the less identifiable you are, the better it is for you when you in the streets. But hey, to each their own. You know, me myself, as the pimpin' that I am, again, I'm in a love affair with myself. I'm deeply in love with myself, and a part of this love affair with myself is, I'm in love with my face. I appreciate my face. I thank God for giving me the face that I have, and I do my best to keep this motherfucker up. And I don't want to do anything to take away from this face. If you got a house in a prestigious neighborhood, you're not gonna put graffiti all over that motherfucker. You're not gonna tag on the garage and tag on your driveway, spray paint and all that type of shit, make the shit look tacky. You're not gonna put a bumper sticker on a Rolls Royce 9 times out of 10, or you're not gonna put a bumper sticker on a Bentley. It just don't look right. And if you gonna be that way when it comes to material things, things that come and go, how much more so with your face, maybe if a motherfucker think they ugly or something, they might want to do some shit like that. But this pimping, man, we need this. We need this motherfucker right here. Even if you might not, you might think you're not the most handsome motherfucker. I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep this motherfucker up. I ain't doing nothing to this. I ain't putting no additives or preservatives or none of that type of shit with this motherfucker right here, man. I'm just gonna do my best to keep it up and keep it the way it is, And hey, this motherfucker right here, then it done been a blessing to me. This shit right here, nigga, this shit right here, this motherfucker done been a blessing to me countless times. Whole bunch of different ways, whole bunch of different times. Like this motherfucker right here, I ain't finna do no extra shit when it comes to that. Yeah, man. But like I say, man, the beautiful thing about this pimping is it's not something that just everybody could do. And like I say, the times that we living in, right, everything is just fucking acceptable. Like with music, for instance, to be a quote unquote singer, you ain't even gotta know how to sing no more. It was a point in time, once upon a time, where in order to be successful in the music industry as a singer, you had to know how to sing. Of course, there's different degrees, different variations. Some singers sing better than others, but you had to have some kind of talent once upon a time. But now, I can't sing to save my life. If my life depended on me being a good singer, it's gonna be Bon Voyage Freeze. Y'all ain't gonna see Freeze no more. If they was to put a gun in my head, be like, Freeze, you better sing, nigga, and that shit better be good. I'll be like, man, shit, you gonna have to go ahead and pull that motherfucker, man, because I'm telling you now, I can't sing to save shit. That's how it's gonna be for me, right? But I could get in the studio and get a cool beat and spit some shit into the mic, try to sing, and the engineer could fuck with that shit a certain type of way and make it sound good, put some effects on it and shit, and I could have a hit record as a singer. And I ain't never sang ever in my life. I can't sing for shit. But that's just the times that we live in now. Like, motherfuckers, this garbage, if that shit is marketed and promoted the right way, and certain people get behind it and endorse it and all that type of shit, um, it's like the way the world is now. It's really social engineering at its finest. Like that that OJ video, that song Jay-Z had on the 444 album, that OJ story or whatever that shit was called. Like, when everybody in the video was just like zombies and shit. That's really how the world is right now. You know, if the government say, look over here, everybody gonna, and they gonna be mesmerized by this shit. The government gonna be like, there's some great shit over here. Look at it. It's great. Ain't it great? Everybody gonna be like, yeah, it's great. Uh-huh. It's some simple ass shit. You know, that's just the times that we live in now. So, and social media got a whole lot to do with it. But just like with music, movies, entertainment, you name it, like everything is just watered down, right? And everything is just acceptable. And sad to say, but it's the same thing with the pimping, right? And just like I was saying, I can't sing to save my motherfucking life. I guarantee you, any one of you cats that's in here, you might know to yourself that you are not the pimping whatsoever. You don't have a desire to be the pimping. You know you're not the pimping. You probably respect the pimping, but you know that that's not you, and that's not what you want to be at all. But I guarantee you, if you just watch certain shit on social, if you just say to yourself, you know what, I'm gonna convince everybody that I'm a pimp. And you just go on social media and you study what the pimps be doing on there, you might have never checked a trap or sent a bitch nowhere in your life. But if you get on there like, yeah, man, you know, some pimping going on, and you got some money and you make it look good, everybody is gonna accept you. Motherfuckers gonna see you and be like, what's up, P? And you might be the greenest motherfucker. You might not know shit about the game. But I'm telling you, motherfuckers is gonna accept you, because there's people that are doing that right now. It's motherfuckers that ain't nobody seen them pimp nowhere. Ain't nobody in the game ever met this motherfucker past social media, past the internet. But because they get on and they show some money, and they say that there's pimping going on, everybody accepts this motherfucker. You know? And it's just crazy. But that's the times that we live in. But I'm here to tell you, you know, the real pimping is not something that you could just wake up and decide to be. But by the majority of motherfuckers in the community, you could get them to accept you and believe that you are a pimp, even if you ain't ever did no pimping. And see, that's dangerous, because the law enforcement can do that with no problem. 936 Entertainment, good looking with the $5 holler. Boys got squares, but the hoe know all about it. He told me what my daddy, hoe told me, what my daddy do with his free time and his nuts don't matter to me. I respect the honesty. That's crazy. Vic Shepard, good looking with the $5 holler. Great game. Much appreciated. Yeah, that's 936 Entertainment. That's some crazy shit, but you know, again, because everything is so acceptable, and there's so many motherfuckers that like are in the game and calling themselves some pimping, but they don't respect the game. All they respect is money, so their only objective is to get some money. They don't care about their reputation or being true to the game or any of that. You know, so with that in mind, the majority of motherfuckers in the game got some type of skeletons in their closet. If they not married, they got a baby mama and a secret family off to the side that they taking care of, or they got a girlfriend that they've been in a relationship for years with. Uh, you know, motherfuckers is closet homosexuals. It's all kind of shit, man. Like a bitch that's really trying to be true to the game and trying to do some real hoeing. I hate to say it, but she got it bad as far as trying to choose wisely and choose accordingly. You know, it's not a whole lot of good options out, true good options. Everybody make it look good, but you know, when a bitch choose and go see what's going on behind the scenes, 9 times out of 10, a bitch gonna be disappointed. So it's sad to say, but like for that bitch to be like, you know, what my folks do with their spare time, that's on them. You know, it's sad because that would be a good hoe for a good pimp. You know, just that mindset is something that a real pimp appreciates. The fact that a hoe just ain't trying to get in her folks' business and try to interfere with them, but at the same time, a real pimp is not gonna mistreat that or misuse and abuse that type of loyalty and respect. A real pimp ain't gonna take advantage of that, but some motherfuckers, I don't know, man. That shit crazy. And see, one thing about this pimping too, right? A real pimp is gonna be a good chess player with life, you know. And when you know how to play chess, anybody that really understands the game of chess, you know it's about strategy, right? And your defense got to be on point. And you know, I appreciate the snipers in the building. You know what I mean, for striking down Miss Lisa Lopez, but y'all can let her live. You know, I ain't really tripping. But like I say, the pimping is a chess player, right? And one thing about chess is you got to play good defense. Now, sometimes a pimp might show certain things, you know, like a pimp might show different things with him and his bitches and shit like that. But one thing a pimp ain't gonna do is like make clear associations between him and his hoes on the internet. At least I ain't gonna say everybody, but me. You know what I mean? Historically, I've always been that way. You know, if I post a picture of a bitch, you know, you're not gonna be able to see her face or what she looked like or anything like that. And then two, you know, I just don't make associations with my people and myself on the internet. You know, you ain't gonna be able to go through my followers or the people that I'm following and find who's fucking with me. You know, you ain't gonna catch them tagging me on their page or in their posts, and you ain't gonna catch me tagging them and all this type of shit, right? And even beyond the internet, right? Even before social media, before I was fucking with social media and I was in the game, right? Like I say, to each their own, everybody different. Now, for those that are down all the time and pay attention to certain shit, you might be able to pick up on the fact like, yeah, that bitch or them bitches over there, they fucking with Freeze. But that's just not something that I be making known, you know. And I always looked at dudes that made it known who they hoes was, because a lot of times they do that shit for square ass, weird ass reasons. You know, like a lot of times motherfuckers will let you know who they hoes is and try to be cool with you. They'll try to cut into you so that y'all can be friendly, because you know that's one thing about the pimping. when we partners with somebody, we don't try to get at their hoes. Either we gonna fuck with the pimping or we gonna fuck with the bitch, but we not gonna try to fuck with both at the same time, right? So a lot of dudes do that to try to save themselves from getting their hoes sweated. They want to be friends with everybody and then let it be known who their hoes is. So that way you feel bad about sweating a bitch because like, damn, I done got cool with dude and now, you know what I mean? I see who his hoes is and them bitches, they acting like they give me some rhythm, man, like they like me or something. You know what I mean? But me, I've just never been into like broadcasting who my hoes are. It have been so many times where me and my partner is sitting right here chopping it up, and my hoes might walk by and he'll get at them and try to sweat them, and then after he done getting at them, he come right back and chop it up with me, and he never knew the whole time that that was my people's. And he might find out days or weeks later and be like, "Oh, Pete, my bad. I didn't know that was your bitch." Come on, man. Like I ain't tripping on that, you know. And a big part of the reason why I allow that to go down is not only because I'm secure in my pimping and you know I don't that type of shit just never bothered me, but also it lets me know what type of bitch I got. You know, a lot of dudes be so scared to let a bitch get sweated, but and then they end up in a jam. They end up going to jail. You know what I mean? And this bitch telling on their motherfucking ass, and they be sitting in jail wondering why. Like, damn, I can't believe this bitch did that. I was so good to that bitch. Woo, woo, woo. You didn't let that bitch go through no pressure, so you never really truly knew what kind of bitch you had. You know, but but bottom line is I like me, I ain't never really been into broadcasting my hoes, man. And not just that, but it's a whole bunch of pimps that you see on social media, and you'll never know who they hoes is or what they hoes look like or how many hoes they got, or you probably ain't gonna never see them with no bitches, period. But believe me, they sending and mashing and checking it on a regular basis, and they really having it their way, and they doing their thing, really doing some big pimping. You know, motherfuckers who show you their hand all the time, you know, just because you see something with them, don't mean that they doing it better than the motherfucker that's not showing their hand. You know, because when you divulge information too freely to the wrong people, that makes you vulnerable. You know, like these same motherfuckers that be asking me, and it's weird to me, especially motherfuckers that call themselves pimping, right? You know, but you got these weird individuals that's always like trying to, you know, find out where my hose is or whether or not I got hose and this, that, and the third. But them same individuals who be pressed about that shit, I be thinking to myself, like, if this motherfucker really did know who my hoes was, they'll probably try to get me caught up. Cause you know, you got motherfuckers that they just hate you for you being you. You know? Motherfuckers that's not really the pimping, but in the game, and they jealous of motherfuckers that's really the pimping. They really be wanting to know your business because they might try to throw a monkey wrench in your shit some type of way. You know? And I know a lot of motherfuckers would love to throw a monkey wrench in my shit because, you know, I'm the broke, holeless, and doleless, non-pimping YouTube beggar. I'm all this shit. But these motherfuckers be like really trying to know what's going on with my pimping. You know what I mean? But the cold part about it, if they really knew what was going on with me, motherfuckers would really try to like put me in a jam. Motherfuckers would really try to hurt me. And these is people that, one, they don't even know me. Motherfuckers do not know me. Motherfuckers ain't never met me. And I don't know them. Ain't never met them. But, you know, they be really like getting in my comment section and getting in my DM and talking shit and based on what they heard and all this other type of shit. And you know what's funny? Like, I done had motherfuckers do that, right? Because they cool with somebody that knows me, that be hating on me, right? I done had this shit happen several times, but see, people be on the internet and they see me and somebody that knows me, that really been around me, get into it, right? And they'll side with that individual against me, and they'll start saying the same shit that that motherfucker's saying to me, right? But then when they get to moving around cross country and be in the streets and find out what's really going on, like, nah, Freeze really the pimping. Freeze is doing this, and Freeze got this going on. Freeze got that going on. I done had motherfuckers get in my DM and like apologize. You know what I mean? Like, damn, man, my bad, man. You know, I really had you wrong, man. I misunderstood, man. I was just, they call themselves apologizing, but really what they don't want to say is that they was being a goofball, side with a motherfucker when they don't even know what's really going on, and you don't know me at all. So, I don't care about motherfuckers thinking what they want to think, because I know me better than anybody. So motherfuckers saying shit about me that's not true, that does not bother me at all. And I don't give a fuck if the world thinks it's true. As long as I know that it's not true, that's all that matters. Like, I'm really a secure pimp. I love myself. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I do. I know what I've done. I know what I've been through in this motherfucking game. And I know the people that really matter respect me, because they know my resume and they know what I done. So all these people on the internet who don't come outside, that claim this game and don't nobody know they motherfucking ass, and I'm not worried about what the motherfuckers think, because I know what I am. And I know that the only reason why they could possibly be mad at me is because deep down inside, they know what I am, and they wish they was what I am, but they know damn well that they not what I am. You know what I mean? Like, that shit don't faze me at all. Because I still love this game. I still love hoes, and I still can sin and mash on the bitch with a smile on my face. I ain't mad at none of these bitches for shit that bitches in the past done did to me and all that old type of shit. Like I say, man, when you pimping, you gonna go through some shit, man. And for me to be in this motherfucking game, as long as I done been in this shit and I still could put a smile on my face, I'm not crazy. I ain't strung out on drugs. I ain't no alcoholic. I ain't lost my mind. You know what I mean? I'm still sane, and I'm able to do this shit without any type of substances in my body, and still have fun and still enjoy this shit and still be respected by motherfuckers this real. Hey, man, it's a beautiful thing to be me, man. Shit. Because a lot of motherfuckers, they can't do what they do and be who they are without drugs in their body and all that old type of shit. That's a whole nother discussion. Shit. A lot of motherfuckers hate who they see in the mirror. They'll have you to believe something totally different, but if walls could talk. Say, Jack, good looking with the $5 holler. That clown you talking about is a bootlegger selling knockoffs. Hey, man, I don't know, because I ain't talking about one particular clown. It's several clowns. Hey, but I don't know, man. I just know what I am. You know what I mean? I know what the real pimping is. And another thing is, I got love for the pimping. I don't hate on the pimping. I congratulate the pimping. I uphold the pimping. I congratulate the pimping every chance I get. Congratulations to the pimping. Put some love in my body. See, it's certain people, man. It's unfortunate when certain things happen to respectable people in the game. It's really unfortunate, right? But with that misfortune comes a lot of truth. A lot of people expose themselves when fucked up shit happened to respectable people in the game or notable people in the game. Somebody who might have a lot of love or a lot of popularity, or what have you in the game, when shit like that happens to certain individuals in the game, a lot of these dudes be showing their true colors. They be exposing themselves, right? That's just like, it's a certain individual from I'm in Texas right now, right? It's a certain individual from Texas in the game, and somebody that's known to be successful in the game, somebody that's well liked in the game, somebody that has a lot of popularity in the game, right? Um, he ended up catching a case, right? But I remember before he actually did catch that case, um, you know, that motherfucker with that that wear that costume and shit. I don't even want to say his name, you know, but the motherfucker that be hating on everybody in the game. They made up a lie and said that this individual from Texas that I'm talking about had caught a case, right? Had went down because that individual, they just love lying on motherfuckers in the game, right? So they had so many people in the game believing that Pimpin had actually went down, right? So you had so many motherfuckers coming out like really hating on that man. Motherfuckers that really call themselves some pimping, saying shit like, yeah, man, you know, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And you know, just saying like hater ass shit. And then when it came to be found out the truth that that individual didn't catch a case and everything was all good with him, uh, you know, them same individuals felt stupid. You know, but see, this is what I want y'all to understand. Like, it's a lot of motherfuckers in the game that's sending a bitch and getting money from a bitch, but they're jealous of a lot of motherfuckers in the game that's the pimping, right? Pimping ain't jealous of pimping. If you see a pimp that's doing better than you, or a pimp that got something going on that you don't have going on, you know, to a real pimp, they gonna see that as inspiration. That's gonna inspire them to be better with they pimping, right? You know, that's just like, it's a cat in the game that passed away some years ago from the Bay Area named Crooked Mouth Pierre, right? Rest in peace. Shout out to Crooked Mouth Pierre, right? But this is somebody that I admired in the game, right? And you know, Crooked Mouth, he was a fly motherfucker, right? And he was known for dressing, and he was a real he had a real magnetic uh personality about him. He was real charismatic and profound. He was just he was really some pimping, right? And you know, he had certain things about him that, you know, early on I wasn't so developed in, and I wasn't so seasoned with, but you know, I didn't hate him for that. I admired that, you know, and it inspired me to uh you know, step my pimping up in certain ways. You know, because I just had a lot of admiration for Crooked Mouth. He's just one of a few individuals. You know, you know, the list goes on. I can name different P's in the game that came before me, right? And when I came into the game, I saw them as a youngster, and I just admired certain things that they had about them that I didn't have about myself, right? But I was never jealous of them. I was inspired by that, and it made me want to step my pimping up and be better in various different areas, right? But I guess because, you know, I see it that way because I've never been an insecure motherfucker, and I've never been like, I just don't know how to be jealous. I have never been jealous of anybody about anything Like I can honestly say that. You know, I've seen people that, might have shit going on that I didn't have going on or whatever the case may be, but I don't know how to be jealous. And I thank God for that. I appreciate that I was blessed in that way, but I just do not know how to be jealous. So but you got a lot of motherfuckers that claim to be the pimpin', and they'll smile in Pimpin's face and shake hands with Pimpin and, give Pimpin props. Like, man, I seen you just pulled that new thing off the lot, P, man. Congratulations, man. And then when they walk away and they get by themselves, like, damn, this motherfucker got that. That's the car I'm supposed to have, man. Shit. That motherfucker got that motherfucker before me, man. Shit. Fuck. That's the car I'm supposed to have, man. Man, fuck that nigga, man. This is how niggas is, man. Like, they really jealous of the pimping. They'll congratulate outwardly, but to themselves, they really eating their heart out. They really, like, hate that shit. They don't get inspired like, whoo, man. Pimpin' just pulled that spaceship off the lot, man. Man, I got some pimping to do, man. Let me go get pimping. Let me step it up. These motherfuckers will hate. They don't look at it like that. They will hate. And this is motherfuckers that's supposed to be some pimping. That's just like, for instance, another P, right? I ain't gonna say his name, but motherfucker that's having success in the game, got popularity in the game, so on and so forth, right? That fake motherfucker that be hating on the pimping all the time, making all these posts on social media saying that, the cars that dude got ain't really his, they don't belong to him, and so on and so forth. And you got motherfuckers that's really supposed to be some pimping, that's really supposedly sending and breaking on hoes, that be like encouraging the bullshit when it comes to that. They be hating on that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Motorboat my breast. Good looking with the $2 holla. $1 holla, bro, bro. Good looking. But it's just funny, like, how motherfuckers hate on certain shit, right? Like, for instance, right? My brother Sinful, right? He's not really a flashy, flamboyant type of dude, right? Now he gets suited and booted and he do his thing. He's a fly motherfucker, but he's not really he don't put a lot of emphasis on material things, right? Like, Sinful puts a lot of emphasis on who he is and how he's blessed, right? And you got other motherfuckers that got more cars than him, more jewelry than him, bigger houses than him, right? But these motherfuckers really be jealous of Sinful. And, he done lost his weight now. But, at one point in time when Sinful was bigger and he was at his house in Arizona, and he'll just sit in the room, with no background, just a white wall in the back, and he ain't got no jewelry on. He got a motherfucking stocking cap on sometimes, and a sweatsuit or a t-shirt or whatever. But Sinful just got a certain magnetism about itself, right? And motherfuckers really hate that shit. Motherfuckers hate the fact that Sinful can talk the way that he talks, connect with people the way that he connects with them, and they just really hate that. You know what I mean? Just like motherfuckers, and I'm glad y'all letting them live. You know what I mean? I'm glad my snipers ain't took down these motherfuckers, man, because I want everything to be on display. I want the hatred to be on display. You know what I mean? Snipers, stand down, snipers. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all, good looking. But yeah, back to my brother Sinful with his pimping ass. With his, unique ass, his, doing everything that motherfuckers wish they could do but can't do. You know what I mean? like I said, Sinful just, at the time he was, you know, a bigger motherfucker, a fat motherfucker, and that's what they say to themselves. This fat ass nigga with this fucking stocking cap on, with no jewelry, and a blank wall in the back. Why does everybody like this nigga? And I got the jewelry, I got the clothes, I got the car, I got the red bottoms, I got the pretty bitches, and I'm making my music, and I done created my website, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but ain't nobody checking me out. Everybody looking at this fat ass nigga in this blank ass room, and all he doing is fucking talking. Like, niggas hate that. They hate that. Why did this fat ass nigga sit in this blank ass room with no jewelry? He ain't got no bitches in the background, no car, no nothing. But everybody likes this nigga. Everybody reposts this nigga. Everybody be quoting this nigga, saying his sayings and shit. Everybody try to talk like this nigga. Everybody everybody love this nigga. Why? Why? He not doing no pimping. You don't see him with no bitches. You don't see him with no money. You know what I mean? And Sinful he never had to do that shit. But the most you're gonna see Sinful do, he will count some money sometimes. He ain't did it in a while. But y'all done seen Sinful count some money. He'll go shopping sometimes, you know what I mean? Y'all done seen him go to the Louis store and the Gucci store and all that shit. He gets suited and booted on a regular basis. That's the most you're going to see Sinful do. But that's not what draws people to Sinful. What draws people to Sinful is just who he is. He just got a certain magnetism about himself. Just because of who he is. Raw, uncut. Sinful could sit on a fucking milk crate on Skid Row and just pop it the way that he pop it, and motherfuckers are still gonna gravitate to him. Motherfuckers are still gonna love him. But you got so many niggas that hate that. And they'll say what he is and what he ain't, but it's like, if he's not this and not that, then why are you so mad at him? For real, like, why are you mad at him? Like me, I'm this broke ass nigga, and I ain't got no hoes, and I'm in the hotel room because I'm struggling and all this shit. But like, why are you so mad at me? Why do you take your 40-something, damn near 50-year-old ass out of your way, out of your grown ass way, to like give me a piece of your mind? Don't you got a bitch somewhere that can suck your dick? Like, come on, man. If I'm everything that these motherfuckers say I am, then why do they feel the need to just like spend so much time and energy hating on me? It's funny. And the motherfucker that y'all see saying what they saying in here, they gonna make a video and they gonna try to chop this shit up, because they got time like that. I don't know how a motherfucker that's damn near 50 got time like that, but that motherfucker got time like that. He gonna take this video. I'm guaranteeing you. I know they only got a handful of followers. It's more people in this room than that motherfucker got followers on Instagram, and his page always constantly getting shut down. Unfortunately for him, but if you just so happen to that page was to end up on your radar, if you pay attention to it, the whole page is, majority, I don't know, the majority of what I see is talking bad on motherfuckers in the game, talking bad on the pimping. That's what so much of the time and energy spent on that page is going towards, right? And see, me, I just know how to read between the lines. And before I continue, Vic Shepard, good looking as always, with the $5 holler, right? Like I said, I'm not formally educated in psychology or anything like that, but I'm fascinated by psychology. I like to know why people think the way that they think and why people do the things that they do, right? I'm just fascinated with that shit. And my fascination with that has made it beneficial in the game for me and hoes that I fuck with or that fuck with me, right? My fascination with psychology has been beneficial in those ways, right? So but along with that, that and the gift of discernment, I'm able to look at certain shit and really, read between the lines and look past the surface and see why motherfuckers are the way that they are, right? And see, it's nothing wrong with being a janitor, right? Shout out to any janitors that might be in here, especially successful ones that's happy. You got loved ones that love you. You live in life, whatever the case may be, right? Shout out to y'all. But I'm just talking about a certain individual, right? Uh, when you the type of individual who you've tried, you've had so many endeavors throughout your adult life, going on 30 years, right? And none of your endeavors take off. You tried to be a rapper once upon a time, right? And the rap shit didn't work for you. You just didn't have no star quality. You didn't have no talent. You an ugly motherfucker, and you know that to yourself. You're not proud of the way that you look, so you're not marketable. So it's not like you're gonna be a sex symbol and that's gonna carry over. It's gonna make up for the lack of talent, because you got them cases where a motherfucker might not be the most talented, but people find them sexy, so that'll hold them over. But it's just nothing about you that held you over. So your rap career never got off the ground. Your rap career never gained any traction, right? So then you you try to be a scammer on some hustling shit or whatever. Your scamming career never bared any real fruit. You might get a few little things here and there. You might be able to scam for whatever it is you're trying to do. Like you try to create a radio station, and you might have scammed for the materials for your radio station, and that didn't go anywhere. Uh, and then the girls don't like you really, so you rape a girl in the club, you drug and date rape her. Uh, you go to prison for that by you not being uh, a citizen. You're on the verge of being deported, but you find some type of loophole and you get your conviction overturned, right? Now, you didn't get your conviction overturned because you were found innocent. You got your conviction overturned based on the technicality. I want y'all to understand the difference between that, right? Sometimes you have situations where somebody can get a conviction overturned because the police fucked up. But that doesn't mean that that individual is innocent, right? So this person that I'm talking about, this a janitor right now, pushing 50 years old, and don't want to be a janitor. They want to be something else, but they're a janitor because they have to be, right? Um, like I said, this individual was convicted with with a lot of evidence. A lot of evidence convicted this individual of rape, but they found some type of loophole in the system where the people fucked up and they were able to get this conviction overturned, right? But they still guilty though. Irrefutable evidence proved that this individual was guilty, right? But they had to let his guilty ass go on a technicality, right? So get out, create a website, social media website for people in the game, pimps and hoes. They start to be cool with you, but you end up getting exposed for the hater and the sucker that you are. And by one pimp being the one that exposed you, you know, you hated all the rest of the pimping as a result of that. So you just got a vendetta towards the game, you know, and you mad because hoes is liking these pimps and paying these pimps and all this shit. But don't know no bitches don't like you, and you broke, and everything that you do, it just don't it never goes anywhere, and it never uh creates any sustainable income. You know, it never it's never fruitful, all the shit that you do, right? So I just want you to understand why one particular hater is the way that they are, right? um they damn near 50 years old. They've tried a million different things over the past 25 or so years. None of that shit has like been successful. None of that shit has done what they wanted it to do, right? And then on top of that, this is a motherfucker that wears a costume at home. This is a motherfucker that just hate themselves so much and the way that they look so much. They wear a fucking costume at home. You know, it's not like the people who work at an amusement park, you know, they wear a costume because it's part of their job or something like that. No, this motherfucker probably ain't never worked at an amusement park, right? But they got a costume that they wear at home. This is a motherfucker that don't never leave home, first of all. You never leave home because you done created so much hatred in the game. You feel like a motherfucker gonna pop your top if they catch you in public, which probably will happen because you've done so much coward shit towards people in the game. You know, but that's a whole nother story. But you hate yourself so much that you wear a fucking costume at home. And like, that's crazy, right? But this is you. And you got a YouTube channel. You do all these videos. They don't get any views. Your channel doesn't grow. You know, but then you got somebody like Maroy who was doing good interviews. Maroy, rest in peace. You know, Maroy was doing things that you wanted to do. You was jealous of Maroy. You know, Maroy was a successful filmmaker. You know, he got some classic films pertaining to the game. You know, Maroy done did some shit that's undeniable, and you hate him for that. Maroy ain't never did nothing to you. Maroy don't even know your motherfucking ass, but you were just so jealous of Maroy, and you hated Maroy so much that you just dedicated your life towards hating on Maroy. And then, you know, various other motherfuckers, myself included, you hated on them. You did? Because these are all special people. Anybody that's special, you hate on. Like Sinful. Again, Sinful is somebody that could, you know, as y'all like to say, sit his fat ass in this blank ass room and talk shit, and everybody is just tuned in, and he you know, he done grew past where you want to be. You know, he done grew to a point where you wish you could be, but you can't. And you've been doing this shit way longer than Sinful. You know, you've been having a YouTube channel forever, and Sinful just come out of nowhere, create a YouTube channel. Everybody fuck with him. Everybody be reposting them. Everybody be quoting them and all this old shit, right? And so you start hating on Sinful, you know, and see this. It's a lot to learn from this shit, right? I want y'all to pay attention and learn some shit, right? Now, just like I was talking about the Pimpin earlier from Texas, they got a lot of love and respect and success in the game. This same individual that be wearing costumes at home was hating on that individual, and people showed their true colors, right? Now, when it comes to Sinful, right? This same individual that hate theyself and don't like theyself, right? They hated Sinful so much that they dug into Sinful situation with his case and all that, right? And they put some videos out Sure, a lot of y'all done seen the shit, right? Sinful in front of the parole board and sinful in court before the judge and the DA, right? Two different videos. Now in these videos, they were saying some shit about Sinful that wasn't really a good look, right? But so the cold part about it is a lot of people know the truth about that situation, right? And they know that what was said in these videos and then also how the videos were presented, they know that that was contrary to the facts, right? Contrary to the truth. But because they're seeing these videos, and I know, you know, to people that aren't like of above average intelligence, when you see something like some court videos and some parole videos, it looks official, right? So most people ain't gonna think beyond that surface, especially if you haven't been through any type of situation like that yourself, right? So when that situation happened, right? So many people who used to act like they had love for Sinful all of a sudden turned against Sinful and was hating on Sinful so bad, just going out of their way, making it their business to hate Sinful so bad. I know to this motherfucker that be wearing the costume at home, he probably thought to himself like, yes, finally I'm gonna have some success. Because finally something that I did, you know, people was fucking with it. I know that's what they thought, right? But in spite of that situation, Sinful continued, and not only did he continue, he got better. Sinful got better from that situation. You know, he don't and then he ain't been on YouTube in a while, so a lot of y'all don't know, but Sinful has lost. I ain't gonna say how much weight he lost. I'm gonna let him do that because that's a part of his. But I'm just letting y'all know that he done lost a lot of weight. And then just behind the scenes, things in his personal life have just gotten so much better since that time, right? And he's still shining. You know, this other motherfucker that wear a costume at home and don't go nowhere in that costume, they didn't really gain anything from this shit. You know, they still a failure. They still a janitor that they don't want to be. Nobody still fucks with them. You know, they still don't gain any traction on social media or YouTube or whatever, right? See, this is a type of individual who at one point in time, they used to always buy followers and likes and all that shit on Instagram, right? And maybe on YouTube too, I don't know. But whatever the case, they did something that got a lot of attention. You know, the videos were Sinful in court in parole hearings, but it didn't do anything for that individual, right? And like I say, it's a lot to learn from this. This is what I want y'all to pay attention to. See, you got a lot of people that chase clout. And a lot of people in the game chase clout through myself and through Sinful, right? A lot of people hate me and a lot of people hate Sinful. Even more motherfuckers hate Sinful than they hate me. But a lot of people hate me, right? And a lot of people hate Sinful. And they try to use us to get clout. But what people don't understand about chasing clout, if you really pay attention, people who chase clout, sometimes they might get clout. But the clout don't last because there's no greatness to sustain it. There's no foundation to sustain it. So it fades away. See, with sinful creates greatness, and the clout just comes with the territory. Anybody that you see with some real clout, they don't chase clout. They chase greatness, and the clout just comes along with it. And that's what these clout chasers don't understand. They chase clout. You know, the same motherfucker that is talking about me being a YouTube beggar and all this shit, and I'm on here begging and all, like, that I did the videos with, that I took the videos down. That individual took them same videos and put them on his channel. But I'm the YouTuber and I'm the clout chaser. Now, I took it off of my channel, not because I was like ashamed or anything like that. Well, I wasn't ashamed of what happened in the video, but I was embarrassed by my association with the motherfucker in the video. I just know that I'm too fly to have anything to do with that individual. You know, so that individual being, you know, when y'all come to my channel and the first thing you see is this ugly ass, sweaty ass, toothless nigga, that just, it's just a bad representation of this game. It ain't a good look. So that's why I took that shit down. You know, motherfuckers like myself just have no business having anything to do with a motherfucker like that unless I'm giving them some change or giving them some motivational words of encouragement, or, you know, some counseling or something like that, you know. But as far as like comparing my pimping to whatever that individual is doing, that's just not a good look for the game. Because what the fuck do me, Freeze, what do I look like having any type of competition with an individual like that? It just ain't a good look, you know. So that's why I took them videos down. But the same individual in that video, or in those videos, who was calling me a YouTuber and all this shit, that motherfucker went and posted the shit on their channel. You know, and this is shit that people come to me and tell me. That motherfucker went and posted that shit on their channel. See, again, this is somebody chasing clout instead of chasing greatness. They posted them videos on their channel, and their channel done grew a little bit. You know, they almost got 200 subscribers. They was in the lower hundreds at first. They almost at they like at 190 something subscribers. They channel, the views for the entire channel went over 10,000. And if I'm not mistaken, I think, yeah, you got to have over 10,000 views to monetize your channel. So I don't know if that individual knows that, but they probably will find that out. You know, they can monetize their channel now. So yeah, but I'm the cloud chaser though. But like I say, these are individuals that chase clout. What I want y'all to understand, like, it's always a futile activity to chase clout. Just clout for what it is, just merely clout. You know, because when you chase clout, you just negate so many other important things to sustain the clout. When you chasing clout just for the sake of chasing clout, it don't never last because you don't put the right things with it in order to sustain it. Again, you know, you got people like Sinful. He just produces greatness, and that's what sustains the clout. He don't do what he does simply for the sake of having clout. You know, entertainers, athletes, they don't do what they do to have clout. They do what they do to be great at what they do, and the clout just naturally comes with it. And that's what these people don't understand, you know. And the sad part about it is they might have some type of greatness with them. See, like that individual that I'm talking about, and I hope he's still in here, that they probably need to hear this. But they probably have some greatness in them, right? And see, me, I'm not a hater, and I can keep it real, right? Hold on. That motherfucker that wear costumes at the house and don't go nowhere, just wear costumes, I guess, because when they look in the mirror, they don't want to see their face or whatever, right? But that motherfucker that wear costumes at the house, one thing about them that I'm like astonished by is the use of his time. It's amazing to me how that motherfucker has so much time on their hands, right? And y'all probably think I'm trying to be funny, but I'm just being real though. Like, this motherfucker has so much time on their hands. And like I tell people, when I was in the penitentiary, when I was locked up in a correctional facility, I didn't have that much time on my hands. When I was locked up, I had a job. I had to get up in the morning and go to work every day. And then I worked out for like 2-3 hours a day. I played basketball. I read books every day. You know, I didn't have that much time to even in the penitentiary. You know, and in the penitentiary, your activities is limited. You can't do all the shit that you do out here in the world, obviously. So you would think somebody in the penitentiary would have more time to do certain things than somebody on the streets, right? But this motherfucker who sit at the house in a costume, they got so much time on their hands. Like, even niggas in the penitentiary don't have this kind of time on their hands. So, like me, I marvel at that. It's amazing to me. And see, if that individual would just use that time better, they might actually get somewhere. They haven't learned that dedicating all this time and energy towards talking about other motherfuckers has gotten them nowhere. They haven't learned that. You know, Treese, good looking with the $20 holla. I appreciate you. But see, that individual, he hasn't learned that, you know, when you spend so much time talking about other people, that's not helping you. It's not doing anything for you. Hold on. If that person just sat and took the time to learn themselves, right? Because see, that's a big part of the reason why certain people don't like themselves is because they haven't taken the time to really, really learn themselves. And if that individual took time to learn himself, he might find something about himself that he likes. He just might. I don't know what that might be, but if he took the time to figure it out, he might figure it out. And he might be able to take that, whatever it is about himself that he likes, and develop it and produce some kind of greatness with it, right? And then he might actually get somewhere. It's sad that somebody is damn near 50 years old and been a hater all their life and hasn't figured that out yet, that the hating and clout chasing and everything ain't gonna get them nowhere. But like I said, I hope that motherfucker's still watching so that he can hear this. Because I'm being all the way real, like, if you just take time to learn yourself, you wouldn't have so much hatred towards a motherfucker like me who you like, just like with all the other pimping, you do your best to make it seem like I'm just this broke failure and I'm a YouTube beggar and my cars is getting repoed and I'm on a bicycle because I ain't got a car. And You say all this shit about me, but like, why? If that's really the truth, if I'm really a failure like that, then why are you spending so much time talking about a failure? Seriously. And then the other people that you talk about, you try to them, you try to present them as failures to the game too. If this is really the truth, then why do you spend so much time talking about failures? Because let you tell it, we all failures. We all con artists. We all liars. We all getting our cars repossessed. We all losing shit. We all ain't doing this. We all ain't doing that. We all, we all snitches. We all pedophiles. Like, you try to make us all look like all this shit, right? If that's really the truth, then why you spend so much time on us? And it's just a coincidence. It's a funny coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, but it's just funny that everybody who this motherfucker get into it with, which is all, motherfuckers in the gang, everybody who rubs him the wrong way, it's always the same story. It's always some fake ass paperwork. And see, that's another thing too that I wanted you to that I want y'all to pay attention to with the whole Sinful situation, right? Like I said, they posted videos of Sinful in front of the parole board and in the courtroom with the judge and the DA, right? But one thing that motherfucker has not shown y'all is any paperwork on pertaining to Sinful's case, right? Because the paperwork would refute what the people in the parole board said about Sinful, and it'll also refute what the judge and the DA said about Sinful, right? The paperwork, because what people don't, like I said, for those of y'all who haven't been through the penal system, you wouldn't know that judges and DAs and people at the parole, people at the parole board, they just go off of information that's being presented to them, right? But the information that gets presented to them oftentimes is lies. It's not true. The judge and the DA especially, the DA's job is not to keep it real. The DA's job is not to bring justice. The DA's job is to get a conviction by any means. That's what the DA's job is. The DA don't care about honesty. The DA don't care about what's real and what's not real. The DA only gives a fuck about, can they get a conviction or not? That's why this is what lets you know. When cases get presented to the DA, the DA doesn't look for, the truth about the case. They look to see if they have enough to convict this person or not. And if they believe that they cannot convict this individual, then they reject the case. They call it a DA reject. And this happens not in most cases, but it does happen. It happens a lot. You know what I mean? That's just like the shit that I went to the penitentiary for, right? Before I got caught up and went down, both of my crime partners, some months before, like I said in that video, My Life Before the Game, both of my crime partners, they got arrested before I got arrested with them later on, right? They got arrested. I didn't get arrested, right? But when they got arrested, we know what we was doing. We was guilty. So when they got caught up, they know they guilty, right? But they got a DA reject. That first time around, the DA rejected their case. Why? Because it wasn't about if they was guilty or not. The DA just didn't feel like at that time that they can convict them of what they were being accused of. So the DA rejected that shit. So I say that to say the DA don't give a fuck about what's real. But at the same time, the DA is going to do their best to get you to believe what they want you to believe. and that doesn't necessarily have to be the truth. The DA just wants to get the jury and the judge to believe what they want them to believe, and it don't have to be the truth. So with that being said, if the DA wants the jury and the judge to believe that this man got this underage girl pregnant and that there was a DNA test and this, that, and the third, like, the DA is going to do whatever they want, or they're going to do whatever they have to do to make that believable before the court. So if they got to go get a fake DNA test, if they got to go, get somebody to lie and say that they seen this man doing this or whatever the fuck they got to do to convict this person, that's what they going to do. It doesn't have to be true. Just like Denzel said in Training Day, it's what you can prove. That's all it's about. It's about what you can prove. It's not about the truth. They don't give a fuck about that shit. It's a business. We live in a capitalist society. That's a business. That's how the motherfuckers put food on their table. Convictions. They don't put food on their table based on the truth. So I say all of that to say, everything that you see in those videos was sinful. That's just like in the parole board video. A lot of y'all know they tried to say that he had multiple underage girls on his case, and that was a lie. One of the girls that was actually 19 years old, the people in the parole board said that she was 16 years old, Nicole Morton. That's a fucking lie. I know, because before Sinful had Nicole Morton, I had Nicole Morton, and she was, no, I said 19. Oh, she was either 18 or 19 years old. So, but the people in the parole board said that she was 16. Completely not true. But like I said, the people in the parole board don't know. They're just going off the information that's being presented to them. Now, I'm pretty sure that the DA is responsible for it being in the paperwork that she was 16 years old when she was really an adult. So, you know, and like I say, this motherfucker, back to him, who wears a costume at the house, he has this paperwork and he knows what's real. That motherfucker got so much time on their hands, they probably know everybody involved in the case, all the alleged victims. He probably got all they, dates of birth, where they was born at, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he had they social security numbers and blood types and all that shit. This motherfucker got that kind of time on their hands where they'll take time to figure that type of shit out, and what grown man, and that's the cold part about it. This motherfucker, that's what lets you know that this individual is just bent on hatred and does not like themselves. Who spends all of this time to find different people's paperwork cross country about cases that they done caught, and they don't get a dime from it. They actually have to spend money for this shit. They spend money getting court documents on motherfuckers and all that type of shit, and it doesn't result in any financial gain whatsoever. And this motherfucker has been doing this for years. Who does that? That lets you know that this individual has to be disturbed. This is a disturbed individual who spends all that time on something that's not going to produce any kind of money. This is a person that got kids. This ain't doing nothing for you. It's not doing nothing for your kids. Shit just crazy, man. But back to the pimping though. Yeah, man. I mean, y'all decide for yourself. If a motherfucker is everything that they say a motherfucker is, then why all the hatred? If I'm really just a YouTube beggar, if I'm really holeless and doleless, if I really don't have no game, if I'm really a failure, why all the hatred? Why don't you just let me be a failure? Like, why you gotta stress me out? You know what I mean? Like, can I fail in peace? You know what I mean? Why y'all trying to stress me out, man? Just let me be the failure that I am to myself, man. I ain't do nothing to y'all. I ain't bother y'all, man. Like, come on, man. Shit, can I fail in peace? Shit. Just let me drink my love, you know, my water. They be hating on me about this shit too. Drink water, drink water. You talking about drinking water? Drink some Pimpin. Oh man, like damn, like can I drink my little cheap ass water in peace? Like shit, damn. I never knew that encouraging y'all to put some love in your body would garner so much hatred for me. I mean, to me, it's worth it because I don't give a fuck. I want y'all to drink water, and I'm gonna promote water as long as I can. As long as I have the power to promote y'all, to put some love in your body, that's what I'm gonna do because I got love for y'all and I want to see y'all be healthy. And you know, I don't be like trying to dictate your lives and tell you y'all need to do this, you need to exercise more, you need to eat right, you need to do. Just put some water, put some love in your life, just put some love in your body. That's it. You know what I mean? Because that alone is gonna be such a blessing to you. You know, what else you want to do with your life, that's on you. But if you don't do nothing else, I just want you to drink water on a daily basis. But damn, I didn't know they was gonna hate on me about that. They be hating on me about that. That shit crazy. Like, damn, I can't tell motherfuckers to put some love in their body? Shit. It's crazy, man. But you know, I ain't mad at it though. Even though I got all these motherfuckers that hate on me, I can still smile. You know, shit crazy, man. But I can still smile. And motherfuckers is going hard. Motherfuckers is going hard with the hatred. You know, but because I'm the pimpin', you know what I mean? And because I've endured so much in life, this shit is a walk in the park. This is all online social media shit. You know, people call it online bullying and shit like that. You know, I done dealt with real life bullies. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers that done tried me. I ain't never been a victim of bullying. I done had bullies try me when I was a kid and the shit didn't work on me. You know what I mean? So I know what real life bullying is like. So this online shit ain't nothing. You know what I mean? I'm too secure in myself. I'm not a man, and I know what's going on in real life. It's more real life for a motherfucker to deal with. So the online bullying shit, I guess if that's what they think they doing or want to call it or whatever, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit these motherfuckers down. And they lying on me and doing. I don't even want to say the shit that they doing, but man, they going at freeze tough right now. You know what I mean? But I'm still doing me. I still got people in my life that love me, and that's the problem. You know, some people, you know, you just gotta understand why people. Again, psychology. Why people do what they do. You know, some people ain't got nobody in their life that really love them and fuck with them for who they are. You know, some people only fuck with them because they beneficial in some way or another, right? But you don't have, it's some people that just don't have anybody, not one person that fucks with them just because they love them. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of people in my life, you know, family and friends that fuck with me just because they love me. Not because of what I can do for them or how I can benefit them in some type of way, but they just love me for me. That's it. But you have some people that don't have that. You have some people that don't have family members that love them just because they're them. You have some people that don't have friends that love them just because they them. You got some people that don't have bitches in their life, or females or significant others or whatever in their life that just love them because they're them. You know, and I advise y'all, uh, individuals like that, if you don't go, I advise you to get a pet like a dog or something. You know, because dogs are great companions and they love you just for you being you. You know what I mean? You spend enough time around a dog, and that dog is gonna develop a love for you. And it ain't because you feed them and give them water and take them for walks every day. The dog just gonna love you just for you being you, and the dog gonna be loyal to you. He gonna protect you. She gonna protect you, whatever it, male or female. You know what I mean? Go get you a dog for real. You know, if you don't have no a person, a human being in your life that loves you for you, and not because of what you do for them and how you benefit them, but uh, you know, they just don't love you for you, and you don't love yourself. Go get you a dog, man. I advise you to get a dog. Dogs are cool. You'll love a dog. Freezing the game. I agree. At the young Trumps, I'm glad I'm a handsome ass square. I've been official. LA made me, baby. Freeze the fucking man, though. He really got the character and the accolades to prove it. I appreciate you. The young Trumps. I love my chia pet. Yeah, man. See, like that's what they need, a chia pet, man. Something, you know. Uh, People just gotta learn how to love themselves, man. And a lot of times, people get wrapped up in distractions, you know. And there's so many distractions in the world, right? Like I say all the time, whether it's social media or, just little shit like it's TVs every fucking where you go. You know, if you get on the train or public transportation, it's TVs on that motherfucker. If you go inside McDonald's, it's TVs in that motherfucker. You go to the gas station and it's the TV at the gas pump. It's just TVs every fucking where. You know, and there's advertisements everywhere. You on YouTube, if you don't pay for the YouTube premium before you get to watch whatever video you want to watch, which might be a distraction itself. Uh, there's commercials and shit. Uh, on Instagram, Snapchat, distractions in the world. Certain people are distractions to you. People, especially like I say all the time, failures are the most comfortable motherfuckers to be around. They the funniest people. They the best people to listen to you. You know, they might not be doing shit with their life, but they like the best, most comfortable people to be around. You know, so some people might be distractions to you, but you know, I say all of that to say a lot of these people, they allow so many things to distract them, and the biggest distraction, which is probably fueled by a bunch of other distractions, is that self-hatred. And if they could somehow get over that self-hatred and learn themselves, they might find something about themselves that they like. Facts with Text say, what do you say the difference is between players and pimps? I classify myself as a player. Um, a player, I would say, is someone who has multiple women in their life, quite possibly. Um, they might not necessarily be the most honest individual with these different women. They might not know about each other. but they might know about each other. I don't know. But got multiple women in their life. Uh, these women might serve different purposes. Some of them might just be there for sex. Some of them might be there because um, they benefit them in another way, like financially, or they let them use the car or stay at their house or whatever the case may be, right? So that's what I say a player is. A player is just somebody who might have multiple women in their life that serve different purposes. The pimping is just something totally different. Like the pimping is a lifestyle. And see, the player, sometimes a player might have hoes, right? And this player who got hoes, he might do other things. Like he might work a job. He might be a D boy. He might sell weed or drugs or whatever. He might be some type of hustler or something. At the same time, having hoes, his player might, and then he might have a girlfriend over here as well as having hoes over here. I would classify all of that as a hate. I mean, a player. But the pimping, on the other hand, the pimping deals with hoes. Pimping ain't gonna have a girlfriend. Pimping ain't gonna have a wife. The pimping deals with hoes. And the pimping is dedicated to hoes, just like hoes is dedicated to the pimping. And the pimping ain't gonna have a job or be a hustler or a D boy or what have you, a robber, a con artist, or no shit like that. The pimping is dedicated to being an asset to these hoes. That's what the pimping is. So I say those are the major fundamental differences between a player and a pimp. Paul Lang say, I think I'm gonna get a dog, P. Thank you. For sure, for sure. Yeah, man, I love dogs myself. I don't have one right now. I haven't had one in yeah, I haven't had a dog in a few years. But I love dogs though. Reading these comments, y'all. Excuse my pimping. Once again, if you haven't wiped your feet off at the door when you came into a pimp's domain, please do so now. What I mean by that is hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button for a pimp one time, please, and thank you. And put some love in your body. You know what I mean? Hydrate yourself like so. Yeah, man, but I wouldn't trade this game for nothing in the world, man. I love the game. I love being who I am and what I am in the game. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love everything. You know, I accept the bitter with the sweet, everything that come with it. It's all worth it for me. Cause I still, I still just got a strong belief in the beauty of the game. See, some people have been in the game for a long time, and they start to think that certain things in the game are a lie, and they don't believe certain things, right? And that's true when it comes to certain things, but uh, at the same time, a lot of people, I guess, because of what they go through in the game, it makes them it makes their belief in the game waver, and I don't know, I guess they get disappointed or something like that. Because I remember one time a partner of mine, he came to me, and this is somebody who'd been in the game for years, probably just as long as me, and came to me and told me that the game was a lie. And everybody was just pretending in the game and so on and so forth. And, with a lot of people, that's true. But at the same time, because I know my own experiences and the experiences of others that I know, like I just know the power of the game. I know what this shit can do. And I know a motherfucker can move mountains, so to speak, you know, if they believe in the game and believe in themselves, So, like I said, everybody that go through the game, they receive things differently. That's just like I said before. You got certain motherfuckers who done been through so much shit with hoes. Hoes done did them dirty so many times over the years, and even before the game, they baby mama or their girlfriend or their wife or what have you did them dirty. So they just have a hatred towards females, period. They have a bitterness. So they think that pimping is like just dogging bitches out and doing bitches wrong and doing them bad and shit like that. You got a lot of cats in the game that think that that's pimping. But pimps don't hate hoes. Pimps don't display hate. Pimps don't display hate towards hoes. Me personally, again, speaking for myself, I love hoes. But you got certain individuals, they get in the game for the wrong reasons, and they take out their anger on hoes and mistreat hoes and do foul shit to hoes. But once again, I'm here to tell you, man, pimping don't hate hoes. Pimping don't have no bitterness towards hoes. And see, uncommon information, good looking with the $2 holler. I've had hoes do foul shit to me, right? A lot of times. I'd have had hoes leave me for dead. I'd have had hoes try to put the police in my business. I'd have had hoes set me up to get robbed. I done been through all kind of, and the list goes on and on, right? I done had hoes do all kind of shit to me. But once again, see, who you are in the game is going to be heavily dependent upon what type of man you was prior to the game, right? By, the type of influences that you had prior to the game. Same for hoes. But for the pimping, that's what it is. So I just was a certain type of way coming into the game. And then even within the game, I developed that much more so to the point where, again, I'm not strung out on drugs. I haven't lost my mind. And I'm not mad at the game. And I still love the game and I still enjoy the game. And I still do this shit with a smile on my face. You dig? Like, I don't have nothing bad to say about the game. Just like certain hoes have done me wrong in the game, certain quote unquote pimps that did me wrong. That I thought really did some shit that I was like, damn, P, for real? But it doesn't waver my belief in the pimping, because I know what I am and I know what I stand for and I know that I'm not the only one. I know that we're the minority, but I also know that I'm not the only one. So, I still love the game. I still appreciate the game. And I guess one thing that helps me love and appreciate the game, and see, this is another thing that a lot of these haters don't realize. See, I understand that the greatest thing you could do in life is be of service to people. I firmly believe that. The greatest thing that you can do is be of service to people. I don't think that you can do anything greater than that. Help people in some kind of way. So, that's another reason why, going back to sinful, right? That's another reason why Sinful is blessed so abundantly as he is, because Sinful understands the same thing, that it's great to be of service to people, to help people and bless people. He understands that by doing that, he's naturally going to be blessed. So Sinful's the type of person, he don't never worry about himself. He don't get into a panic or a frenzy if he get into a bad situation. He's gonna maintain his composure and be poised no matter what, right? So um he understands that it's great to be of service to people. And Sinful, he does so many charitable things, and he's of service to so many people in a great way, and that's why he's blessed the way that he is. And things like something so small as clout just naturally come with that, right? Hatred comes with that too. But you know anybody that throughout history that is considered legendary, they were of service to people in some type of way. Even if that service was only inspiration by them doing something for themselves, they served as an inspiration to other people. That's a big deal. One way or another, they were of service to people. Even if they didn't necessarily like donate money or things like that, just by serving as an inspiration to people, they still served tremendously to people. They were of service to people, right? And that's why, just going another direction a little bit, right? Like, you have people in the quote unquote black consciousness, the black conscious community, right? And some of these people think that because they've read books and they've studied and they've retained all this knowledge, and they can quote this and they can quote that and say this and say that and teach this and teach that, right? Some of these individuals in the black conscious community take it upon themselves to compare themselves to or put themselves in the same light as a Marcus Garvey or a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King or what have you, right? But one thing that these people don't understand that separates the people that I just mentioned from these guys in the conscious community today, first of all, those guys, they never put themselves on a pedestal. They never magnified and glorified themselves. You never heard Marcus Garvey talking about, I'm the shit. You never heard Malcolm X saying in any type of way, he never communicated to you that he felt like he was the shit. Martin Luther King, he never communicated to you in any kind of way. Nothing that he did said, I'm the shit, right? So, you never heard Malcolm X comparing himself to Master Fard Muhammad or Noble Drew Ali or any of those types of people, right? Or even the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You never heard Martin Luther King comparing himself to anybody before him. You never heard Marcus Garvey comparing himself to anybody great before him, right? So that's the one big difference between those individuals and these guys now in the conscious community who try to put themselves in a comparable light to these great individual leaders of the black community that have passed already, right? That's one big thing, right? Another big thing, these guys in the conscious community, they call themselves one to enlighten our people. so on and so forth, and that's cool, right? But but one thing that I haven't seen any of them like immersed in, submerged in is service. Like I haven't seen any of them that everything that they do and their every action communicates that they are of service to their people. The majority of them are very vain individuals. And you know, the our ancestors that were great leaders back in the day, none of them were like vain to the point where, you know, they magnified themselves beyond whatever it was that they believed in. But basically, my point is, all of these people, you know what I mean, the Noble Drew Ali's, the Malcolm X's, the Marcus Garvey's, Martin Luther King's, Frederick Douglass, like the list goes on. These people were dedicated to being of service to their people. That was their biggest concern, is being of service to their people. And through that, through their service, they were just recognized for their greatness. But they didn't seek to be recognized for their greatness. They sought to serve and better their people. That's what their mission was. Their mission wasn't to be recognized. You did? So I say all that to say, like, and I'm not gonna say anybody's names, but I'm pretty sure y'all know who y'all, certain people come to y'all's minds too in this conscious community today. They try to compare themselves to the great men of our people in times past. You know, they try to compare themselves to them individuals, and they just don't. I don't give a fuck how smart you are, how charismatic you might be, how knowledgeable you might be. You just don't compare. You know, and they need to stop doing that. P Chat and Radio, I appreciate you with the $2 holla. Preach. Indeed, you already know. So I say all of that to say, even with this pimping, right? You know, I know that I got certain, you know, shit about me this admirable and things like that, but you know, I'm really of service to this game. You know, that's a big part of the reason why I do what I do, and I get on here and I chop it and pop it, because I want the game to be greater. You know, I want to push the envelope of the game. You know, checking some money and sending the bitch and all that shit is cool, but I want the game as a whole to be greater. I want bitches to be more expensive than what they are right now as a whole. You know, I want the standard to be raised above where it is. I want the pimping to get back to being Renaissance men. I want the pimping to be get back to being seen as these larger than life individuals like we once upon a time was seen, you know, in times past. I want it to be back to where, you know, the pimping is a distinguished gentleman, and you can't mistake a rapper for the pimping. You can't mistake a dope boy for the pimping. You can't mistake a regular blue collar worker as the pimping. I wanted to get back to the point where when you see some pimping, you know that's the pimping. When he open his mouth, you know that's the pimping. When he walk in the room, you know that's the pimping. That's what I want to see. You know, so that's why this shit don't bother me that these motherfuckers do, right? Because I know that's the biggest thing that separates myself from them, and why I'm always going to be all right, because I am of service to the game. And more than anything, I want the game to be great again, because I know that with the game being great, naturally by me being a part of the game, I'm just going to be great by default, by association. But again, like I say, the pimping do things that the average motherfucker can't do. So my endeavor is something that the average motherfucker ain't gonna accomplish. And I want to see the game be greater. You know, I just want to play a role in that any way that I can to make the game greater. You know, I want these hoes to value themselves the way that they're supposed to. You know, I want these hoes to take the game more seriously and have a stronger belief in themselves and in the game. You know, I want these hoes to understand their role in the game and to understand that they don't have to befriend a trick in order to get their way with them. I just want hoes to be better. You know, I want them to understand who and what they are in the game and therefore be greater. And I want the same for the pimping. I want the pimping to understand their role in the game, their responsibility in the game. I just want the game to be greater, man. So, you know, whatever motherfucker got to say about me, I'm broke. I ain't got no hoes. I ain't got no game. I'm not the pimping. My valuables have been repossessed. I'm a YouTube beggar. All this shit, like that shit don't faze me. You know, I know that what I'm doing is righteous. So you know, to the game. So I don't like whatever motherfucker got to say about me. It is what it is. Blessings to those guys. They're not gonna say that for me, but I'll say that for them. Blessings to those guys that got all nothing but negative shit to say about the freeze. You dig? Cho Cho, good looking with the $10 holla. Indeed. That was a beautiful statement, Denatra Lewis. A Renaissance man is a perpetually self-sharpening, always learning. Indeed. That is a fact. Seven Star says, how is it righteous? See, when I say righteous, I'm not talking about in terms of spirituality or society, what society thinks is righteous. I'm talking about righteous to the game, righteous to my lifestyle. You know, and I know that it's righteous because, again, a big part of what I'm doing is being of service to the people in the game. You know, and I don't know of anything else that's more righteous than being of service to people. You know, and I know that. See, I just see life differently, and I see the world differently, right? And I know that what society says is right or wrong, or what the government says is right or wrong, is whatever they want it to be. And just because they want it to be that way doesn't make it right or wrong. You know, certain things can be seen as right or wrong from a spiritual standpoint. That's one thing. But for the government to say what's right or wrong doesn't necessarily make it gospel, doesn't necessarily make it factual and actual, right? So I don't get caught up in what the government says is right or wrong. I don't get caught up in what people says is right or wrong. Like I said, for me, being of service to people is righteous. And the people that I'm being of service to are people of the game, the lifestyle that I live and believe in. And again, in spite of what society and the government says, I know that the game is not an evil thing. I know that the game is not what they portray it to be and what they want people to believe it is. Like such a dreaded lifestyle. I know that's not what it is. You know, I know a lot of great things come from the game. A lot of families have been taken care of. A lot of educations have been paid for. A lot of great things have come from the game. You know, so I don't give a fuck what the government say. I don't give a fuck what people say. Like, I know the game in and of itself is not a bad thing. You know, pimps being an asset to hoes is not a bad thing. Hoes being of service to tricks is not a bad thing. Now, of course, just like with any other lifestyle, you have good and bad people involved, but the game itself is not a bad thing. So, to be of service to the game is not a bad thing. It's a righteous thing for sure. So it don't even seem like it, you know, because we've been on here chopping it and popping it, and we've been having so much good game being kicked around. Hold on. How it ain't bad, but you wouldn't want that for your seed. Okay. That's a good question, Wiz Gang. Now, um, you're right. I wouldn't want the game for my seed. Now, if my seed was adamant and serious about being involved in the game, you know, of course, I'm not going to encourage that. I'm gonna discourage it in whatever way that I can. But if she's dead set about being involved in the game, then the only thing that I could do is make sure that she's wise and safe about what she does, right? But um, just because I don't want her to be involved in the game doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Parents naturally want their kids to do better and be better than them. It's not bad to be a mechanic, but a mechanic might not want their son to be a mechanic. The mechanic might want their son to be better than them and not have to be a mechanic and be something, you know, what they perceive to be better in life. That doesn't make it a bad thing that they're a mechanic. They just want something better for their child. You know, what I also don't want for my seed is for her to be in the military. That doesn't make the military a bad thing. I just want something better for her. And the people in the military are, you know, serving a righteous cause as well because they are of service to their people. But that's not what I want for my seed. So I want something greater for her. But again, that doesn't make serving in the military a bad thing. So back to the game. No, the game and, you know, serving in the game and, you know, being of service to people in the game, that's not a bad thing. But no, I don't want that for my seed. But again, whatever she decides to do in life, I'm going to do my best to make sure that she goes about it in a wise fashion. She might grow up and want to be in the military. I don't want that for her, but if she grows up and wants to do that, then I'm going to make sure that she's wise in what she does, no matter what she decides to do. So. Right, like JP say, it's literally players in the NFL who won't allow their child to play football because the dangers and realities of the game at times. That's the oldest dumbass square question. Well, I don't see it to be a dumb question, JP, because some people really be curious and they really just don't understand, and they might have a different view based on their influences in life. So I ain't mad at nobody, but righteous in the eyes of the government. What do you mean by that? We as gang. Uh, I don't know what you're saying is righteous in the eyes of the government. Waterson 10, as always, good looking with the $5 holla. Do you think brothels will ever come bask across the USA? I think you meant to say back. Uh, I think it's a strong possibility. Like I tell people all the time, there's things that we never thought we would see in our lifetime that have come to pass. One of those things is the legalization of recreational marijuana. We never thought we would see that. That's a reality now. We never thought that we would see gay marriage, but gay marriage is a reality now. Uh, the next big thing that we never thought we would see that's going to become a reality is the legalization of prostitution. That's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. It's too many people pushing for it, too many powerful people pushing for it. It's going to happen. So to answer your question, I think it's a strong possibility. Basically, I think prostitution is going to become decriminalized, if not legalized. But you know, within that, how it's the avenues for it could be various different things, and I think brothels is a strong possibility. So yeah, I could see that definitely happen. Red Luce, good looking with the $2 holla, you dig? Mosiah Cheeks, salute Freeze, already wiped my feet off, or wipe my shoes off. Good looking, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, so hold on. How do you think how do you think that would affect the game if they legalize prostitution? Says Mac Vegas 702. Uh if they legalize prostitution, I could see pros and cons with it, right? Now, of course, the pros, uh, especially depending on what comes along with the legalization of it, I think it would make the game a lot safer for the hoes. Uh, and hoes wouldn't have to go through so much because hoes go through a lot in the game. Hoes get arrested a lot. Hoes, get hurt a lot. You know, hoes go through it. Like, that's why it's just strange to me how certain motherfuckers can hate hoes, especially people in the game. But, hoes go through a lot. So if prostitution, or I'll say once prostitution becomes decriminalized or legalized, it will make it, especially legalized, it'll make it where hoes don't have to go through so much, right? So that'll be a very good thing about it. Um, so that'll be a positive effect on the game. Uh, what a negative effect would be Because you know you already have a lot of females in the game right now that don't value pimping. So it will be that much more, I believe, once prostitution becomes legalized, that hoes, you know, don't recognize the value of pimping. So that would be a negative effect on pimping in the sense that he would have that much higher of a hurdle to get over in convincing a hoe that the pimping is still the best thing for her. But the pimping is still going to be the best thing for a hoe no matter what. Whether prostitution becomes legalized, decriminalized, whether or not it stays illegal, no matter how the dynamics of the game change as we know it, pimping is always going to be beneficial to a hoe. You know, just like a basketball coach is always going to be beneficial to basketball players, despite however the dynamics of the game might change, the fundamentals or whatever rules and shit might change, however the game evolves, coaches is still going to be beneficial and necessary. And same thing with the pimping. Blacker Love, good looking with the $5 holla. Appreciate this good game, Freeze. I appreciate you as well. Good looking. Blacker Love says, was Dennis Hoff considered a pimp? I've answered this question before, but once again, you know, by the textbook's definition, or the dictionary's definition, I mean, Dennis Hoff would have been considered a pimp because he arranged clients for prostitutes, right? So he set up dates basically. And to paraphrase what's said in the dictionary, that's basically what they say a pimp is. The dictionary says that a pimp is a guy or somebody who arranges dates for hoes, right? Or for prostitutes. So in that sense, yeah, Dennis Hoff would be considered a pimp. But in the urban culture, the pimping as we know it, the lifestyle that we live, no, he wouldn't be considered a pimp at all. Because you know, he's taking a percentage, and it's just a whole it's a whole nah, he wouldn't be considered a pimp at all. It's a whole lot of reasons why he wouldn't be considered a pimp. But right, and like Coco say, but Dennis Hoff paid the lady, so no. Yeah, he was definitely some tricking, you know, so yeah, and then he had girlfriends. Nah, he just wouldn't be the pimping at all. So, damn, man, I keep trying to wrap this shit up, but y'all keep asking good ass questions and shit, man. Bye Good Night says, even if they did legalize prostitution cross country, they will never make a P and pander legal, much like the places across the world where prostitution is legal. Nah, of course not. You know, especially as long as, you know, pimping is a world dominated by black men. In America, they definitely hell no. You know, as long as black men are the dominant, you know, people that are pimping, that are pimps, hell no, they would never legalize this shit. Even if it made like finance, if it made like economical sense to legalize pimping, they would never do no shit like that. They just, hell no. At that point, it would just become like a hatred thing. Like, fuck you niggas. We don't want to see you niggas thriving at all. Like, we're going to do everything in our power to keep you niggas down. We're going to keep our foot on y'all necks. We ain't never legalizing this shit. That's what that is. Mike J. Womack says, man, I missed the live. You gonna archive this? Of course, man. You're gonna be able to watch this live after it's over with. And I must say that I really enjoyed this live, man. This was a really good one. You know, damn near 3 hours of good game popped and chopped on here. You dig? But man, as much as I want to continue, man, I love all the questions that y'all asking, man. And man, I gotta wrap it up because Pimp gotta go handle some business. But as always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Waterson, oh my goodness, Waterson 10, man. it, if legal, would pimps become brothel owners? Uh, nah, pimps wouldn't become brothel owners because just like you don't see a lot of black men owning strip clubs, especially in a lot of places, they ain't gonna never let no, no, no. They ain't gonna never let the pimping like own a brothel. You know, even if it was like a legal thing for just like Dennis Hoff, like that shit Dennis Hoff did, it still can be done in Vegas, but they never gonna let a pimp or just a black man, period. They will never let that happen. You dig? But again, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all's questions, feedback, input, so on and so forth. I appreciate you sharing this video. I appreciate y'all subscribing and hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate y'all supporting every which way that y'all come with, man. Y'all already know. You know, the God Anointed Game Pointed, hated, non-pimping, holus and dolus, YouTube begging ass motherfucker named Freeze, man. I appreciate y'all, man. But we gonna do this shit again much sooner than later. If y'all are moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. I'll holler. Be easy.